Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Oh, one second. There's no need. Huh? Oh no, there's no need, honestly.
They're bringing the table for you too.
I don't know, honestly, I don't mind. I don't know. I'll just sit down.
Okay.
Fajr Khatiras don't have tables. They just... no need for introduction.
You give me 1 second because it's a big brother. Very humble man. My brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to introduce one of the most prominent scholars of our time and one of the most sought after speakers in the world. He is a Hafiz al-Quran, a native of Houston, has a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Houston, and then later on he went to Medina University in Medina al-Munawwara, and spent over there more than 10 years obtaining his bachelor's degree and master's degree in Sharia. After finishing his Islamic studies in Hadith and Islamic sciences from the prestigious Medina University, he came back to America and he went to Yale and obtained his PhD from Yale. He is the Dean of Al-Maghrib Institute. He is a resident scholar at Memphis Islamic Center. He is a Rhodes Scholar. He teaches Islamic movement at Rhodes College. He is a member of the Fiqh Council of North America. Hundreds and thousands of students have benefited from his knowledge, and he has taught hundreds and thousands of students across America, across Canada, and around the world. His online lectures are one of the most sought after and viewed lectures, and it's really an honor and pleasure to introduce to you one of the very prominent scholars and one of the most sought after speakers that we have in the country, Dr. and Sheikh Yasir Qadhi.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah, amma ba'd. Of the verses that are recited in Salat al-Fajr is verse 21 onwards from Surah Ibrahim. And it is one of my favorite passages and sections of the Quran. And in today's short Khatira, I just want to remind myself and you of some of the benefits of the second verse that I recited in the first rak'ah. And that verse is the beautiful verse that gives us the parable of the kalima tayyibah. Alam tara kayfa daraba Allahu mathala. Haven't you seen how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the example, the mathal? And of course the darbul amthal is a genre of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses metaphors and parables throughout the Quran. Inna Allah la yastahi an yadriba mathalan ma ba'udatan fama fawqaha. Daraba Allahu mathala. Ya ayyuhan nasu duriba mathalun fastami'u la. The darb al-amthal or the parables is a common theme of the Quran. In fact, some of our scholars have written treatises like Ibn al-Jawzi and others. He has written a whole book called the Amthila of the Quran, the parables of the Quran. So this is one of those parables. And of course parables, we all appreciate them because we can understand them better. We can understand the concept when an example, when a metaphor, when an image is drawn. So this is a beautiful image of the Quran. Haven't you seen? Look at this example Allah is saying. Of the kalimatan tayyibah. Now the kalima tayyibah, of course it translates as a good word. So, as with the Quran, all of it, it has multiple meanings, okay? The Quran is a book of profundity. It is a book that is succinct to the point to have multiple layers of meanings. At one level, the kalima tayyibah is any good word. Haven't you seen how Allah has given the example of any good word? Kalima tayyibah. Any good word. What is the example? Like a beautiful tree, whose roots go deep and whose branches tower in the sky. The tree gives you its fruits throughout the year by the permission of its Lord. And Allah gives examples so that mankind can think. So, it's a very short tafsir, obviously we only have 20 minutes. At one level, the kalima tayyibah implies any good word. If you are cheerful, optimistic, you smile in somebody's face, you just make a positive statement. Allah says this is kalima tayyibah. What's going to happen? Your kalima tayyibah will be planted. It's going to make somebody happy. It's going to go into his heart. His roots is going to go deep. The kalima tayyibah, what's going to happen? It's going to give fruits. It's going to make people optimistic. You're going to bring cheerful attitude. So at one level, kalima tayyibah is any good word that you say. It's a positive statement, it's an encouragement, it's a nasiha, it's a Quran recitation. Any kalima tayyibah, the example applies. But there is a deeper meaning. And that deeper meaning, Ibn Abbas said, the kalima tayyibah in this ayah is the kalima of la ilaha illallah. Because what is la ilaha illallah? It's the kalima tayyibah. The kalima tayyibah is called la ilaha illallah. So, alam tara, haven't you seen the example that Allah has given of la ilaha illallah? At a higher level, kalima tayyibah means the kalima, the pure kalima, the blessed kalima, because it is the most blessed kalima. The kalima tayyibah, the pure kalima, there is no kalima that is more powerful than that. Our Prophet ﷺ on the deathbed of Abu Talib, and he says, Ya Am, I beg you, my uncle, say one kalima, and I will be able to argue in front of Allah about you. Uhajjuka indallah. I want one kalima, and I'll be able to fight your case. What kalima is that? La ilaha illallah. The Prophet ﷺ said to Abu Jahl in the beginning of the da'wah of Islam, Abu Jahl, Abu Sufyan, they were all there. He said, Ya ma'shar al-Arab, O people of the Arabs, you promise me one kalima, and I will give you all of the Arabs. I will give you, they will be following you. And Abu Sufyan said, one kalima and we shall be ruling the world. One kalima and everybody will follow. And he said, yes, one kalima and you shall be the siyada, you shall be the people in charge. So they said, any kalima, we'll take it for power. So he said, La ilaha illallah. And so they turned away and they said, you want us to leave our idols? And Allah Azza wa Jal mentions this in the Quran, that He's going to expect us to leave our idols for this. So that kalima is the kalima tayyibah. It is the most powerful kalima. In the hadith in Mustadrak al-Hakim, Musa alayhi salam says, Oh Allah, I beg you to teach me a special dua. So that is blessed, that has that power. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Oh Musa, say La ilaha illallah. Musa says, Ya Rab, kullu ibadik yaquluna hadha. Everybody is saying La ilaha illallah. I want something special. Ya Rab, kullu ibadik yaquluna La ilaha illallah. So Musa alayhi salam wanted something that was more than La ilaha illallah. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, Ya Musa, O Musa, if all of the 7 heavens and earth were to be placed in one side of the mizan, and La ilaha illallah placed on the other side, La ilaha illallah would be heavier than the entire creation. Which means there's nothing more blessed, there's nothing more powerful than this kalima of La ilaha illallah. So Allah is saying, haven't you seen the example of the kalima of La ilaha illallah? Kalimatan tayyibah. What is the example? What is the metaphor? كَشَجَرَةٍ طَيِّبَةٍ. La ilaha illallah is a beautiful tree. It's not a small tree, it's not an ugly tree, it's a beautiful tree. Why tree? What is the metaphor of the kalima with the tree? Well, we all know, what does a tree do? Question is, what doesn't it do? The tree gives us the air that we breathe. When we start studying science, grade 1 and 2, the first thing we study, photosynthesis. That's the building block of science. That's where all of science begins. That the tree takes in the carbon dioxide, gives us the oxygen that we breathe. Without the kalima, we have no oxygen. Without the tree, we have no life. Without the tree, the entire life as we know it will not exist. So the kalima is the spiritual tree upon which our ruh is based. If there is no kalima, there is no spirituality. As well, what else does the tree do? Well, the tree gives us our fruits, our vegetables. The tree gives us our plants. We eat from the tree. What else does the tree do? The tree gives us our residence. We cut the wood and we build our houses. What else does the tree do? The tree is a shelter. We go to it when it's hot, when it's cold. We turn to the tree for shelter. Literally, the tree is a symbol of each and everything we eat. The air that we breathe, the fire that we use to cook, the food that we cook on it. If we don't eat directly from the tree, the vegetables, the animals eat from the tree. So essentially all life as we know it, it goes back to the tree. From the air to our houses, to the fire, everything. So Allah is saying, this is your kalima. That is the kalima. Without the kalima, you have nothing. Without the kalima, your ruhaniyah, your spirituality is dead. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, the kalima tayyibah is a shajara tayyibah. It's a beautiful tree. Asluha thabit. The roots go deep. The roots go firm. Asluha thabit. It's going deep into the ground. And of course, the connotation is obvious here. And that is firmness, stability, anchoring. When the tree has deep roots, it's a solid tree. So too, the kalima anchors you in this dunya. You know, when hurricanes, tornadoes, when they come, they can even destroy houses, cars are overturned. But deeply rooted trees, they cannot be, they might be damaged, but they cannot be uprooted even by hurricane. You know this, we've seen the pictures of this. The roots of the tree that are deep implies that the firmness, the stability, it is anchored in. The tree is not going to move because of the winds of change, because of the trials and tribulations around it. So when you have the kalima and the hurricanes of disasters come, whether they are financial, whether they are personal, whether they are marital, where it is a loss of a life, whatever problem comes, the kalima will give you stability. You are rock solid and anchored. When you don't have the kalima, you're like the tree in the wind. Any problem and you go with it. Any issue and you cannot, subhanAllah, the kalima will give you that stability. It will make you know where you are situated. You have a place, you have a position. You know where you are, you know who created you, know where you're going. You know what's the purpose of life. You have a higher purpose. So you are rooted because of your kalima. Asluha thabit. Also, of the meanings of asluha thabit is that by and large, one of the phenomena of Islam, one of the amazing miracles of Islam that you don't even need statistics to prove. We know this. We know this because we live it. What other faith community is there where on a Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. you're going to have 500 people praying? What community is there that every single mosque of ours on Fridays is jam-packed to capacity? There is not a single masjid in America except that it has a parking problem or this problem. And that is a healthy problem. We thank Allah that we have this problem. While other communities have to give free cookies if you come on their particular days and whatnot, while they give you a free perk or a free something, you see, sometimes you see a free account or something, they'll give it to you. Alhamdulillah, we're telling people, brothers, if you come after 12:30, go to another masjid. They're not going to find parking here. We thank Allah that people are flocking to the faith. And alhamdulillah, by and large, there's always exceptions, by and large, those people who have tasted the sweetness of Iman, they never leave the faith. Our religion, by and large, is a thriving religion. It's a religion that there is dedication. There is actual Iman. Pew Survey did a global polling about all of the religions in the world and the rituals that they observed. So which ritual is the number one observed ritual out of all faith traditions? And by a margin of like 2 to 1, the number one ritual was the fasting of Ramadan. More than 70% of the ummah observed the fast of Ramadan. 70% of 1.6 billion. There was no other ritual by any other faith tradition that even came close to that. What does this got to do with asluha thabit? The hadith is in Sahih Bukhari. Heraclius and Abu Sufyan are having a conversation about the Prophet. The emperor of Rome and the leader of Quraysh in the palace in Jerusalem. The emperor of Rome has gotten the letter of the Prophet and he wants to know who this man is. So he calls Abu Sufyan, who happened to be in the vicinity. It's a long hadith. I've given a whole lecture in the seerah about it. You can listen to it there. One question. Heraclius says, tell me, Abu Sufyan, has any of the followers of this man ever left the faith after having embraced it? And Abu Sufyan said, no. Once they accept, then khalas, they're stuck, they're there. When Heraclius then explained all of the questions, he then said, I asked you this, and I asked it because this is the reality of Iman. This is the sign of a true prophet. Once Iman enters the depths of the heart, إِذَا دَخَلَ بَشَاشَةُ الْقَلْبِ, when it enters the depths of the heart, it will never leave after that. And we see this, brothers and sisters, by and large. You know, all Muslims, they go through phases. Sometimes they're not praying 5 times a day. But by and large, as a majority, the Muslim ummah believes in Islam. The Muslim ummah knows the Quran is true. They know the Prophet is the Prophet of Allah. What we in this audience don't understand, that yaqeen does not exist amongst other faith communities, even to a fraction of the level that exists in our faith community. What we Muslims, we take for granted the blessings of Iman. We believe in Allah and His Messenger because it is the truth. And it is a sign of being true that people believe in it. What we need to understand, other faith communities are struggling. The majority of those who come even to their gatherings, they're cultural. They just like it because it brings back... It's not that they actually believe in the text and whatnot. It's just something of a society they do. It makes them feel good. That's one thing we as Muslims, we don't quite understand. The blessing of Iman, the yaqeen that we get, that we know Allah is true. We know the Prophet is a Prophet. We know the Quran is the book of Allah. Alhamdulillah, that is a beautiful blessing. Why? Asluha thabit. The roots go deep. That's a sign of true Iman. If it's fake Iman, if it's false Iman, if it's a false faith, it will not establish in the heart. Because Allah created the heart to love the truth. And the Quran is the truth, and Allah is the truth, and the Prophet is the truth. So when you have the truth meet the heart, it's going to become embedded in it. أَصْلُهَا ثَابِتٌ وَفَرْعُهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. The branches are towering in the sky. Imagine what type of tree this is. You know, in California, you have those trees, they go 200 feet. Those massive redwood forests, right? They have the trunk of the tree is larger than this masjid, right? The tree of Iman is much larger than those redwood trees. Because the redwood tree does not go to the skies. It does not go to the clouds. Allah says the tree of Iman, فَرْعُوهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. The branches are towering in the heavens. The branches are all the way up there. Of course, the symbolism is obvious. The symbolism is obvious. In fact, there's multiple layers here. Number one, the larger the tree, the more the benefit. More oxygen, more food, more wood, more plants, more everything. Number two, highness, Jannah. Iman takes you up, right? يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَةً. Allah will raise the ranks of those who have Iman and those who have knowledge. So the tree of Iman will raise you up to Allah, raise you up to Jannah. Number three of the symbolisms as well, beauty. You know, when you are in the desert, imagine, or even not forget the desert, when you're anywhere and you're just driving and you see a beautiful group of trees, a beautiful, in the desert, an oasis, you're going to feel a sense of peace, of optimism. Even to this day, the tree is a symbol of life and peace and stability. What is a symbol of the United Nations Peace Council? What is a symbol of any organization that wants to talk about environment, wants to talk about something peace? They have the tree or the rose or the leaf. So there's a symbol Allah has ingrained in us, that symbol represents life. It represents peace. It represents stability. So Iman is that symbol. فَرْعُوهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. As well, the branches towering in the skies. Obviously, one of the biggest metaphors or symbols here is the reality. And this is a profound point, brothers and sisters. A tree whose branches are towering to the skies cannot be blocked by anything. What skyscraper is going to block the tree that is reaching the clouds? What human can shield that tree from the eyes of others? What human barrier, what wall, what house is going to block that tree from my eyes and your eyes? In other words, listen to this carefully. When Iman exists in the heart, it cannot be hidden in the actions, even if you try to hide it. Once there's genuine Iman, even if you wanted to hide it, you couldn't hide it. Your Iman would scream at everybody, in your akhlaq, in your manners, in your buying and selling, in how you treat your children, your Iman will be betrayed. If you have Iman, everybody will notice it. It's going to be obvious. And if you don't, you might be able to fool some, but you won't fool everybody. أَصْلُهَا ثَابِتٌ وَفَرْعُهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. When real Iman exists, it becomes a symbol. It becomes something that is manifest, it is visible, it is clear. It's not going to be something that is hidden. تُؤْتِي أُكُلَهَا كُلَّ حِينٍ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهَا. The tree of Iman, it gives you its ukul, its fruits. Notice the plural, fruits. It's not one fruit from the tree. This is an amazing point, because every tree in the world will give you one fruit and only one fruit. The fig tree does not produce grapes. The grape tree does not produce apples. You do not get oranges from the apricot tree. You get one fruit, that's it. But Allah is saying there's one exception. Ukul, the fruits of Iman. Multiple fruits come from the tree of Iman. Our scholars mention that the tree of Iman is a tree that nourishes you and gives you what you need depending on the crisis you're going through. When you need sabr, the tree of Iman will give you the fruit of sabr. When you need yaqeen, when you need tawakkul, when you need whatever you need, the tree of Iman that you have, it will give you the nourishment, the sustenance that is particular for your situation. It's ukul. It will give you the fruits that will help you through whatever issue you're going through. And of course, this is in this world. And of course in the akhirah, the ukul or the fruits are even more. And of course time is limited. I have much longer tafsir of this ayah. And in it I go over so many of the fruits mentioned in the Quran. The fruit of feeling peaceful in this world. When you have iman, you feel good. The fruit of tawakkul and yaqeen. The fruit of living a good life. The fruit of a good death will come when you have good iman. The fruit of having a quality of this dunya, that Allah Azza wa Jalla allows you to love this world in a manner that is halal. You enjoy living. Allah mentions in the Quran that those who have iman, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, نُحْيَنَّهُمْ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. We're going to bless them with a sweet life in this world. حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا will be given to iman. They will have رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. Of the fruits of iman as well is that iman is something that gives you mental stability. It helps you battle depression. It helps you battle the problems of this world. Of the fruits of iman, Allah helps you when other enemies are attacking you. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعُ عَنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Of the fruits of iman is that iman is always victorious. As the Prophet ﷺ said, amazing are the affairs of the mu'min, for the mu'min is always a winner. Of the fruits of iman is that even the grave itself becomes a place of light, and resurrection will become easy, and their shelter will be given, and water will be given on Jannah, and Allah Azza wa Jalla will bless the people of iman with heavy scales and shafa'ah, and so the list goes on and on and on. And of the fruits of iman is Jannah, and the highest fruit of iman, the sweetest fruit of iman, the biggest fruit of iman, the most luscious fruit of iman, the fruit that is even more blessed than Jannah itself, is that blessing of looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا الْحُسْنَى وَزِيَادَةً. Those who do good, they shall get. Al-Husna is one of the names of Jannah. Al-Husna is perfection, one of the names of Jannah. Whoever did good, they shall get Jannah. وَزِيَادَةً. And more than Jannah. What can be more than Jannah? Our Prophet ﷺ said, الزِّيَادَةِ is النَّظَرْ إِلَى وَجْهِ رَبِّكَ الْكَرِيمِ. It is to look at the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the ultimate fruit of the tree of iman, and it will only be given to the people of iman. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us amongst those people. So, أَصْلُهَا ثَابَتٌ وَفَرْعُهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ تُؤْتِي أُكُلَهَا كُلَّ حِينٍ. It gives you its multiple fruits at all times. This is another blessing of the tree of iman. So there's two things about the tree of iman that are unique. Number one, it gives you multiple fruits, not just one fruit. And number two, it is ever fruitful. There's no one season that you pluck. تُؤْتِي أُكُلَهَا كُلَّ حِينٍ. At every season, it is giving you its fruits. There is no tree in the world that you can pluck fruits from throughout the year. No tree. Every tree has a season, from January to March, from August. Every tree without exception. There are zero exceptions, by the way. No tree in the world will give you its fruits. Some trees are evergreen. No tree is ever fruitful, except for the tree of iman. تُؤْتِي كُلَّ حِينٍ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهَا وَيَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالَ لِلنَّاسِ. And Allah Azza wa Jal gives parables to mankind, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ, so that they can think, they can ponder over these parables. This is just one of the many, many parables in the Quran. It's a beautiful and simple parable, and it reminds us of the importance of La ilaha illallah, of the blessings of La ilaha illallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of the people of La ilaha illallah. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the shafa'ah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our scales heavy on Judgment Day. May He bless us with our books in the right hand. May He allow us to cross the sirat with firmness. May He grant us to enter Jannah bighayri hisabin wala adab. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be amongst the prophets and the righteous people in Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah Dr. Qadhi for visiting Plano Masjid and giving beautiful Khatira. We have a dua